Hello everybody and welcome to Innovative Education. Today I'm bringing you the third episode of our Anatomy and Physiology series. This video is a follow-up to our last histology video where we covered nervous and muscle tissue. Now we have to go over the two other types, epithelial tissue and connective tissue, which are arguably much more difficult, but we're going to make it through them together. Your epithelial tissue is divided into two groups, primary epithelial tissue and glandular epithelial tissue. The primary epithelium, which is primary epithelial, covers your whole body on the outside and also on the inside. It sorts your body and keeps everything in its own space. So that's the main focus of epithelial tissue or at least primary epithelial tissue, is to keep everything sorted and protected. Throughout this series, you'll hear me mention what kind of epithelial cells are in a certain location. As you see down here, different shapes of cells are needed in certain places of your body for specific jobs. And there are three different types of shapes that you'll see epithelial cells come in, such as squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. Squamous epithelial cells are really helpful when it comes for something to have to diffuse across it or through it, such as you'll find it in alveoli of the lungs because oxygen has to diffuse through it into the blood. Simple cuboidal cells are a bit larger. They're not flat like squamous cells, and they can secrete substances and absorb nutrients. And it's the same for simple columnar, except there's even more room for substances to be made and secreted in columnar cells. So now all these different types of cells, they come in different layers. There's simple, which is one small basic layer, as you can see the top here. And then there's stratified, which is a bunch of layers. As you can see, it's a bit of a mess here with squamous cells. And here's the cuboidal and columnar, which is a bit rare, I think, to find in the body. And then, last of all, you have pseudostratified, which there's one layer of cells, but they have like all different shapes and sizes, and it's a mess. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, in order for a cell to be able to secrete a substance, it must have room to do so, which is why you have the different shapes and sizes. Moving on to glandular, it's very important when it comes to the body because it makes up your glands, as you could probably tell by the name. And it's a lot simpler than primary, but it's still just important. Glandular epithelial tissue is what we call any tissue that makes up a gland. There are two types of glands epithelial tissue forms, endocrine and exocrine. Endocrine glands secrete straight into the bloodstream. For example, adrenal gland produces adrenaline. The pineal gland, right here, produces melatonin. And I'll say it again, straight into the bloodstream, because there's lots of people get these mixed up sometimes, including myself. Exocrine glands secrete into tubes that usually lead outside the body. For example, your sweat glands under your skin will secrete sweat outside the body, and your lacrimal glands secrete tears. That's the end of the video. Thank you guys all for watching. I didn't end up getting to connective tissue. I felt like we should leave that for a separate video because it's a tough subject, and I'm going to try my best to explain it as best I can and help you guys hopefully understand it to the best of your abilities. And yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next video where we will be tackling that subject. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe and all that, and I'll see you guys next time.